welcome back. I'm kind of our version of Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah, it depends on who I'm with, but yeah, you and me at Siskel and Ebert. Richard likes to do it Sprinkle in the Brain.
Right.
I think the roles switches back and forth more than a few times.
He's Sprinkle.
But yeah, so how go things?
Good. You're going to talk about some Christmas flicks coming up, kids and grown-ups.
Well, there's a lot of really good movies coming out this Christmas season, and that kind of plays into another thing I want to talk about, which is some really good simple gifts you can do for anybody for the holidays. But as far as movies go, biggest one I'm looking forward to, and I've been looking forward to for years, is Anchorman 2.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's coming out on December 18th. That one's just the preview. Had me in stitches the first time I saw it in the theater. So going through and actually, I'm looking forward to seeing the full film.
Did they decide to release it 2 days early? Because I thought it was originally on the 20th.
It was originally going to be on the 20th, but the teasers are now showing it's going to be out on December 18th.
Okay.
I think they're trying to get a bit more of a leg up on movies that are going to be coming out on Christmas Day.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the one that came out, I believe it should be either today or fairly quick, is the second Hobbit movie, which also looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I was iffy when we found out they were going to take the shortest book in that series and stretch it out into 3 movies, but the first film was a lot of fun. The second one's supposed to be really, really good. And I'm very, very curious to see how they're going to deal with the third movie. Okay. Because the main conflict of the book, which is, if you've seen the first movie, them trying to get to the mountain and slay the dragon, as far as pacing goes, they killed the dragon in the second movie. But that leaves this big final arc that they're going to need to stretch into 3 hours.
Right.
So I'm really curious to see what they're going to be doing with that one.
Okay, so what else you got?
Well, those are kind of the two big ones coming out. As far as gifts and everything go, there are actually a few really interesting little things you can do if you want to shop for somebody, but you want to save a little bit. A good thing that I found that might work for somebody, say you have a friend you're buying for someone who's a gamer. You know, someone like me, they love playing video games a fair amount of the time. Microsoft is doing an interesting little promotion for the last couple of months with their subscribers. You know, if you have an Xbox 360, you can have a gold account, which lets you play online with other people. You can watch YouTube, Netflix. It opens up all this stuff you can do with the system.
Right.
But you have to pay money for that. It's $25 for a 3-month subscription or $60 for a year.
That's not bad.
But what they're doing that's really cool is they call it a free with gold, which is anyone who is a gold subscriber can get 2 free downloadable video games every month. So if you buy as a Christmas gift, you buy somebody a $25 gold subscription for 3 months. Yes, they can play online for 3 months, but that also means they get 6 free games on top of that.
So they have the PS4 coming out and the Xbox One?
Yes. Both of them are out right now.
Oh, they're out now.
They're both out right now. Both of them are very popular. Between the two of them, I prefer the PlayStation 4. That's just me, because one of the things that is iffy for me about the Xbox One is you're familiar with the Kinect?
Yes.
It's that little they call it a peripheral. It's like a camera that scans you, and it's like motion control for your Xbox 360. Well, the Xbox One came bundled with a new version of the Kinect, and in order for your Xbox One to work, you can never unplug it, and it stays on even when the system is off. So it's always watching you.
Well, I was like, we need to have that song come bust on. I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Well, they also ran into a little bit of I wouldn't call it a controversy, but they've run into an issue already where there are already requirements if you play online with other people. You can't threaten somebody if you're playing online with them, for example. Well, there have been Xbox One owners who have been playing a single-player game, not playing with anybody else, and when you get frustrated with a game, you might swear at the TV. Right. They have been banning people from using the entire system for swearing at their TV because they've been monitoring them with the Xbox Kinect.
I'm thinking that Xbox Connect and chatroulette.com have different terms and regulations.
Not two things you don't want to put together. But like I said, it ultimately just boils down to your preference of system, and at the very beginning when they come out like this, each system has exclusive games that are only for for one or the other. So it just boils down to what you prefer and what games look interesting to you. personally on my end, it takes them at least 2, if not 3 or 4 years to learn how to completely use a system to its full potential. And by then, the prices are going to be cut in half. So
every now and then I end up playing with an Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I've got mine in the. I have mine. I've got the Xbox and the PS3 in my room. I switch between the two systems. Mary and I was playing Castle Crashers with her last night, which is a good fun game.
Right.
Iffy at times, but
I think the latest console I had was the PS2, but definitely the Xbox is definitely fun to play.
Yeah. Well, PS2 was. Well, I still have my PS2, but I modded it so I can play Japanese import games.
How's that take place?
There's a little cover. I have a small one, a slim PS2, one of the last models they released.
Right.
And I took off the disc cover and replaced it with one that has a secondary hatch, so it kind of tricks it into thinking it's always shut. So I can drop in one disc to let me play an import game and then put a different game into it.
Take it from Alan. He'll figure out a way to make it happen, right?
Well, there are a bunch of different tricks you can do. I mean, they used to modify Sega. When I lived in the Bay Area, there was a store called Knight's Video Games, and they could actually put a processor into a PlayStation 1, a Sega Genesis, and a Nintendo or a Super Nintendo that would let you play import games on those ones as well.
Let me take you back in time. Super Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers. Mm-hmm. Where you jumped backwards and went into negative worlds.
Oh no, that was one of the first glitches you could find. It led to the never-ending water level.
Right.
I mean, the first system I ever had was my original Nintendo, but since then I still, to this day, have an original Atari.
Which 2600?
26.
Oh wow.
26
wow.
with a couple of the games.
Right.
So for Christmas, and they sell them 2 ways now. If you can find one used, you can get the old school one with the switches. But they make a little plastic box with 2 Atari controllers that plug directly into the VCR, and it comes preloaded with all the games on it.
Right.
So for Christmas, my nephews who wanted a 3DS or a PlayStation 4, last year we got them the old Atari games.
Right. The Asteroids.
Asteroid, Centipede, the worst of the worst was E.T. The E.T. game is horrible. Bad.
You know what the first console that I can remember is? Pong.
Oh yeah, but the home release of Pong. Yep. Well, Pong is still fun though. I mean, E.T. is
right.
E.T. is just atrocious.
Even without the beer, Pong is fun.
No,
right?
well, it started something that still goes on. And you get to see it today on stuff like Black Friday when people are ready to start tasing each other to try and get a PlayStation 4.
Right.
But on that note, I do need to send you over to Susie, and you're going to talk up the Ione Parade in Preston Old Time Fair for a little bit.
Susie, catch it. Ready?